Hello, scientists. It's Mrs. Ramirez, and I know I've been talking about getting a video out about how to create a data graph from your data table. So I'm in Google Sheets, which is where you should have your data table. So I'm going to show two examples. One, I pretend collected so the number of hours of sleep. So I have dates here. I have time I went to bed, time I woke up, and total hours sleep. This graph this table on the left is what I would maybe have in my slideshow. The one on the right is what I'm going to use to create my graph. So to create a graph, you're going to highlight the table. Okay, and please note that in my table, there's no symbols or words with that number total hours. So if I have 8 hours with the word hours or even an H, the graph will not create. It won't form correctly. Okay, if I tried to create a graph off of the table on the left here, it's too much information. It will be confused pretty much. So we want something simple to create the graph. Again, your table can be more specific, more detailed, like the one on the left for your slideshow, but to create a graph, I need something simpler. So that's why I created a different table with just the total hours, okay? Then I hit the plus, insert chart. If you're doing this in the website or through Safari, it would be the word insert on top, and you would say insert chart. It would be a menu on the top, okay? I am in the iPad right now. So type, I do see a line chart kind of popped up here. I don't recommend that for most of what we are doing. It's going to be a column. Okay, so when I created this, as you can see on the bottom, it has date. All those dates I had filled in on my data chart or my table. And on the left is total hours. So it just created it for me. If you want to change those titles, you can go to titles, the horizontal ones on the bottom. So I'm going to keep it date, but maybe my vertical axis here, it says total hours. Maybe I want that to say hours. Let me make that capitalized. Hours slept. I mean, if you want something a little different. Update title, or if no title shows up at all. Sometimes when you create a graph, the title won't show up at all. So you would want to add a title here or later add a title in your slideshow. Okay, so it is needed. You need to have a title, okay? So done. So then it puts that in my spreadsheet. Then you would just need to do a screenshot of just that graph you created and I would do some cutting and then put it into your slideshow. Okay, that's the kind of more basic one. I'm just sleeping, getting my data for sleeping every day. I have another example showing 3 different plants maybe, or if you're doing something with 3 different things that you are measuring multiple times, you might want to have a slightly different graph. Okay, so I'm going to go to my other example here. I have a plant data table. So you might have a table that, again, is more specific, labeled a little bit better. But for a graph, it does need to be pretty simple. So I have plant A, B, C. If you want to label that plant sunny, plant shady, plant partial sun, partial shade, whatever you want to label it, whatever you were kind of testing out, you can. I just said plant A, B, C. Then I put dates on top of when I measured the heights of the plant, and I know there's no words here. Normally I tell you to always label, right? But for the graph, I cannot have words. Okay, so say plant A, I measured it and it was 11 inches on Monday, the 25th. I hope I have that right. I might have that wrong. Tuesday the 26th, it was 11 inches, and then Wednesday the 27th. Okay, plant B, say I measured it 10 inches, 12 inches, 14 inches, and then plant C, maybe it shrunk. Maybe it was dying and withering, and it was 12 inches the first day, 11 inches the second day, and 10 inches the third day. So this is how I'm kind of setting it up. I'm going to highlight that, hit the plus sign on that top right, and insert chart. And since I used a bar graph just now, it kind of set that as, oh, seems like you want to use that. But if it does give you a line graph by any chance, just go back in and select column. Oh, oops. Select the one that it kind of recommended there. I think if I used column and bar graph, I could kind of fix that. But this is the bar graph that came up. And on the left, we have our inches. And I don't see a title here. So here's where I'd want to put a title. You can have a chart title too. I don't want it to be dates, so I'm going to say plant measurements, whatever again makes sense for yours. And then I might want my horizontal one to say plants. And so see, I have plant A, B, C, or maybe a different one. And then the vertical, I might want to say height in inches. Okay, update title. So then done, and it's going to put that in my spreadsheet. Here's where I would take a screenshot, maybe do some cropping, cutting, and then put that into your slideshow. I hope this helps for those of you who were kind of struggling with getting your data tables finished out, or your data tables labeled correctly or filled out correctly. Mainly what we saw in class was people using other symbols, so they might have put like 11.5. That won't translate easily into the graph. You could put 11.5 though, 11.5, and that will work better. That for some reason putting those fractions kind of confused it. If you had words in the numbers where the numbers would be 11 inches, 10 feet, 12, even if you put like a clock time, it didn't work out well. So if you had the colon for a clock time, those did not translate well. Again, hopefully this helps. If you do need additional assistance with creating your table and graph, just let me know in class. We have about 2 weeks left before this is due. For as of this project, we're in 2024. So for this project, and I will see you in class tomorrow. Bye. Or sorry, Monday. Bye.